Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Black Coffee and Crime. This is episode 79. And today we're just going to talk about mostly we're going to talk about a very, very current story that has created a social media storm. It is a true story. It's something that it's very horrible that happened, but their social media reaction to this is more fascinating than what the mainstream news is reporting. Not a lot of information on the details of what will happen on either side, but we're going to talk about that. But as always, I'm Brandy. We have Jackie, and then we also have Brandy. I think we're a little switched around today with our placement.
Really?
Yeah.
This is my normal lineup.
But I think Brandy and I are switched. Brandy is usually on my other side.
My apparatus, I'm where I am.
Okay. So I guess that just works. It's just me. So that's okay. I'll just deal with it. So thank you to all the new subscribers. I do see that we have a few more to YouTube. Always adding themselves to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, which is Black Coffee and Crime. And you can always find us on YouTube, where our episodes are always aired every Thursday, unless we tell you differently. We're just here to talk. We find things on the internet. We talk about things all week, and then we bring them to you. So today we're just going to talk about some current things in the news. Any church announcements this week? Any prayer requests? Anything we need to talk about?
No, mine is revolving. Just continuing. Just stay sick and shut in.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But y'all can bring me a box anytime you want.
Box of what?
Food.
Okay.
Come over and do my communion. Partake of the emblems.
Lord. Anybody who wants to partake of the emblems with Brandy, just direct message on our Instagram page.
It's almost
it is almost Resurrection Weekend. I do want to say this.
Yes, it is.
For those of you who have not been to church all year, don't go. Stay your ass at home. If your intention,
I knew she was going to say that.
Got a church
for you to attend.
Listen. And the reason I'm saying this, because if you only go on Easter or Resurrection Day, that is not going to absolve you if you busting hell wide open the other 364 days of the year.
Go fellowship with the peoples. Go fellowship with the peoples at the church home. Show up at your mama's church.
You are going there to be seen, and your Skittles pastel
no,
soup.
No, your mama.
Don't nobody want to see. Don't nobody want to see you in your lime green Stacey Adams. We don't want to see it.
Your mama will be so happy when you break them doors open, and you see her in her seat where she always sit with her.
But if you ain't gonna do no follow up on the next Sunday,
Mother's Day is coming up too.
If you ain't gonna do no follow up in your prayer closet, don't go.
You can see everyone.
If you're not gonna be a genuine and good person for the rest of the year, keep your ass at home, eat your ham and your Hawaiian rolls, and
do whatever's best in your heart. Okay, if you want to stay home, stay home. You want to go for your mom, go for your mom. And hear that message and be saved and ready for the kingdom.
I didn't say that they didn't. I said. What I said was
marching ass to war.
What I said was, if you not gonna do no follow up, and it's the only day you go, just so you can wear them lime green stupid ass shoes, stay home. Don't nobody.
You're not going. You go in there to sit next to your mama because she would love for you to come to the church with her on that day.
So next year,
come bearing a brand new box of Danny Greens for your mama after the
Black Coffee and Crime, everybody.
Welcome to Black Coffee and Crime. Thank you so much for showing up.
To Black Coffee and Crime. We got all the opinions you want right here, baby.
Yes, we do. We got all the opinions for y'all and for each other.
Either or.
Argue this out.
Do either or. We gonna love you whichever one you choose. Do either or.
If you go to church, fine, but don't wear them dumbass shoes. Okay, that's all I'm asking you.
Just don't wear. Don't wear the shoes.
Don't go to church looking like a bag of Skittles. It is 2022. Let's get out of that.
Or the cutoff mule.
If you go to church and you look like this here cookie that I got from the dessert spot in Waxahachie, Texas, don't wear it. Okay? If your shoes is this color,
cut off Stacey Adams mules.
No mule.
Them cookies
made
look
out of Stacey Adams.
Okay. Where you get that cookie?
I'm gonna tell you, Jackie, since you got access to it. Brandon, you don't have access to it, but if you are in the DFW area, this is an unpaid plug.
My mailbox is open all weather, all dates, all holidays.
Shipping from Texas is ridiculous. You know they didn't increase the shipping prices. USPS, they don't play. But listen, this is a Black-owned business in Waxahachie, Texas. So if you live in the Metroplex, you can make it there, depending on where you live, in about 45 minutes or less. They are on College Street, downtown, like in the old part, and it's called the Dessert Spot. I saw this place on TikTok. This guy was doing a review of Black-owned bakeries. Happened to see one in Waxahachie. We had the chance to go there this past weekend. These are all freshly made. This is the lemon cookie.
It looks like a lemon cookie.
Let me tell you about this lemon cookie.
So bright.
But it doesn't have a real sharp lemon flavor. It's very subtle, kind of like an old school, your great grandma tea cake lemon flavor.
Because Brand is just.
She's been wearing them out.
Man.
And
I got this on Saturday.
Look how soft it is.
Man.
With that melting girl.
Man. Like a virgin's bottom.
Come on, give me some.
Just real soft.
I'm going to give me some. I like partaking snacks.
Yes. And they have great tea. The tea is awesome. They freshly brew the tea. They bring your own teapot. You pour your own tea into your cup. But I will say this. Get there early because they make everything fresh.
Oh, wow.
And as things come out, they go. I almost had to fight this man over a snickerdoodle.
I don't want to talk about this. Ain't nobody gonna send me none.
I mean,
I haven't even went yet, Brand. BW, I haven't even went yet. When I go, I'm gonna get you a cookie and I'm gonna sing.
Okay, good, because Brand is whack. She sit up there with that old innocent.
I will get you a cookie.
She ain't about to sit me down. And she gonna smack with it. Really,
you right. I ain't gonna send nothing. You right. I ain't sending nothing. And
all
I'm sorry
that information not to send me nothing.
I was just giving these people a plug to send some people down there. The customer service is wonderful, wonderful people. So just take yourself down if you live in the DFW area or the Metroplex. All right. So that's it for the announcements and the community outreach. Here we go. All right. Yes, now we got community outreach plus the announcements. Since we've discontinued the prison ministry, we got to do different kind of, ministries got to change. We got to reach the public. All right. So this week, we got some crazy news on Al Gore's internet this week. And we haven't had much crazy news on Al Gore's internet in a long time. But I ran across this story. And apparently, and of course, this is coming out of Florida because why? It's Florida. I got this from illicit. Yes, it's Florida. So you just never know. This is from Illicit Deeds on Facebook, one of my favorite sites. And the caption is, woman attacks her father after he opens package containing sex toy. So,
was she scared her dad would use it before she got to use it?
No,
that's why I was like, I mean, what was the deal? Like,
was she just embarrassed?
Wait. And investigators say an 18-year-old Victoria Marson ordered a strap-on toy from Amazon, and her father opened the package. According to the arrest report, her father, whose name was not revealed, confronted his daughter when he was surprised by what he saw inside. The victim said his daughter became enraged and started to kick and punch him several times. The arrest report also says that Victoria said, "I'm going to kill you. I hate you." And this is what she's been charged with. And this is what tickled me, because consider that she beat up her father over a sex toy. Says that she was arrested on battery charges. And when I saw battery charges and the word battery, I just fell out. Like, I wanted to throw my phone, because the irony involved that she was charged with battery for beating up her father over a sex toy.
I mean, it's a strap on. You think she was ashamed because
maybe he didn't know that
she walked in with her dad using it. Otherwise, I don't see why.
I don't understand.
I don't know.
It's not making sense.
I don't know. Maybe she got tired of him opening her mail. He said from illicit deeds, it says that he was surprised by what he saw. So maybe he confronted her and was like, "What is this? What are you using this for? Why do you have a strap on? Do you have a girlfriend? Was somebody gonna use it on you? Are you gonna use it on somebody else?"
But still,
did he say something because she figured out she was a lesbian?
It doesn't say that. Like, that's it. That's it.
That's very vague.
But did she beat her father with the strap on? Like, I don't, but I guess people are embarrassed by different things because, and first of all, if the package is not in your name, why are you opening it? But maybe she ordered from his Amazon account. I don't know.
It might have had his name on it.
And he opened it and like, what is this? Maybe he never knew she had a girlfriend. I don't know.
It's still weird.
It's very weird. Like, you're gonna beat your father and you're kicking him and you're like, I hate you because he found your strap on.
There's more to this story.
That's the story.
No.
I will send it to you. This was on illicitdeeds.com. I will send this to you. I think I sent it to you guys already.
When I read it, it wasn't much more to it. That was the story.
No. That's the story. She looks, yeah. So there's people in the comments, why did he open her mail? Why does she react so badly? One person says, parents need to stop opening their grown children's mail. But listen, if any of y'all look like us and you live in your parents' house,
or use their address,
to have your mail sent there, they will open your stuff and tell you, call you and say, you got to check who sent you money.
Earlier, was it late last week? Late last week I did it.
You opened
my son's mail.
That's illegal, right?
Address.
I like the slow blink. That was amazing.
You do know
that was my reaction. Like, okay.
I didn't recognize the sender.
But did you recognize who it was sent to?
Yeah, I told him he had some mail.
But did it have your name on it?
It had my last name on it and my address.
That is a federal crime to open.
There was another discrepancy with the first the first name on there, but
go ahead and try to clean that up as much as you can. So the postmaster,
I took a picture of it and I sent it to him. He was like, he didn't know who that was.
Okay, was this before or after you opened the mail?
Just know that sometimes I find that mail comes to my house and everything is perfect. The last name, the address, the zip code, everything is right.
All I'm saying is, if it specifically does not have your name on it.
It has my last name and my address. What else is there?
So what? So what? You cannot open. So I'm just telling you what the law says. I know how it works in our families, that if it comes to my house, I can open it. But also what I'm saying is that if the Secret Service come and knock on your door, understand they call in because somebody done told on you because you keep opening their mail because it's illegal.
And they come and I tell them who it's for and what address it came to. I'm like, oh, they done wasted their time coming out here.
No, you gonna be down there at the local FBI field office, and I ain't got no bail money.
Who told on her? This is a waste of time coming out here for this.
That's what they gonna say.
That's what they gonna say.
I call them.
They're gonna exclude the federal law for you in this case.
Well, mail don't go to his apartment.
No, I'm saying, but it's the law.
And when I tell them who he is,
they don't care.
If he won't want me to open it, he could put his change of address so everything could go to his apartment. But until then,
I'm not going against you opening it. I'm saying that the law.
And this is exactly why Victoria beat shit out of her daddy right here. This is why.
I don't open it. How they gonna keep up with all they stuff?
I'm just saying this is why Victoria beat the snot out of her daddy, because he keep opening her stuff and that was private and it was supposed to be for her, and he opened it and then gonna have the nerve to come to her and be like, what is this? What is this for?
She should have sent it to her auntie's house or got a P.O. box.
No, he shouldn't have opened it.
I'm opening what come on over here.
He shouldn't have opened it. If a package comes to my house for the people that live here, I'm not opening that. I'm not opening it. And if it comes to someone who doesn't live here, I'm sending it back.
And I ain't even gonna say hello. I'm like, you nasty.
Like, no, if I opened it, if it was in my name, if it was something and I opened it and I wasn't supposed to open it,
that would be
my name on it.
Maybe that would be one of the.
Go ahead, Jack.
I was gonna say maybe that would be one of the reasons you shouldn't open nobody else's mail, because if you, as a parent, I wouldn't want to see my daughter's stuff. I'd be like, girl,
I don't think I would be embarrassed.
We're very
I would be embarrassed, but I don't want to see it.
We're very open.
I mean, I wouldn't be embarrassed. I would just close it and wouldn't.
He would be more. Jamar would be more embarrassed than I would be. She would be embarrassed, and no matter what age it is. But in her, thinking about her comfort level, she may be a little bit embarrassed. So,
but I would be embarrassed if my mom opened something that I ordered. Because my mom, there's only proof that my mom had sex 3 times, and that's because she has 3 kids. Because other than that, we haven't had
sleep and didn't know what was going on.
Because my mom has still never told me about sex, so we've never had the talk. So yeah, if she opened it, I'd be like, oh my God, because she'd be like, oh my, oh.
And I would just like that. But I bring it up all the time. I'll be like, I've been calling you and you ain't been answering my calls. You must have been messing around with that crap.
See, that's why. That's why Victoria did it. We don't even need to solve the story. We don't need no more details. We don't need nothing else. That's why Victoria beat the snot out of her daddy right there, because he's gonna do something like that.
I'm hungry. I haven't got to eat my dinner yet because you was in there messing with that old strap. I opened your mail for you because I knew you was in there messing with that old strap.
See, that's not even right that you would do that. But I know you would do that. I do know that Brandy would do that. Like, she's not telling a lie. But yeah, that's like,
ain't answer the phone.
He was in there messing with that.
I ain't gonna say it. I'm just gonna do that.
No, I'm gonna say it.
Brandy's gonna say it because that's the type of person.
I would insinuate it. She would definitely know.
Yeah. Poor Victoria. I know her father too, but also her being as embarrassed as she was, or anxiety, whatever caused her to like flip out like that. So hopefully she gets some help, and her and her father mend their relationship. Also out of Florida, I don't know if I sent you guys this one, but
if y'all see me looking around, Brandon, I'm in Oak Cliff. I'm standing outside in an environment. So, you gotta be what?
Girl, what are you doing in Oak Cliff?
I had to run out here to do something. That's why I have my laptop.
I hope you're facing the street.
Yes, ma'am, I am. I would show you guys, but my view isn't that beautiful.
Yeah, because it's Oak Cliff. But
yes, I am facing the street.
It depends on where you are in Oak Cliff, because I think we've mentioned this before, but Oak Cliff is one of the single largest neighborhoods.
On Loop 12.
Like Ledbetter Loop 12?
Bazumwa. Yes, close to Ledbetter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Be watchful. So if you catch out and we just see your name across the screen, we just going to continue and call you later and make sure everything is everything.
Yeah, man. It's BW. It's like a rough spot in Dallas. So.
Yeah.
Stops
So
Way.
So that's why
yes,
I know y'all feel like I'm doing
the equivalent to Stobbs Way.
Ooh.
The whole neighborhood though. Stobbs Way was just a street, but the Loop 12 and Ledbetter is
it's
like
a
a whole
whole suburb area.
A whole
sub
suburb
neighborhood.
Stops Way.
Right.
Mm.
So we're gonna be ever watchful in prayer over Jackie. So there's a story out of Florida that I didn't send you guys, but this involves an unsolved murder that happened 10 years ago of a 17-year-old pregnant girl. This was in St. Petersburg, Florida. The girl's name was Morgan Martin. She was 17 years old in 2000. No, this didn't happen in 2016. She was 17 years old and she went missing. She had planned to meet with a gentleman who was 24 years old, Jacoby Flowers. He was allegedly the baby's father. And she was supposed to meet with him and she never showed back up. He had been as a suspect for quite some time and they were never really able to pin anything on him. Pray for Jackie, y'all. You'll see is her name. She's off
Because I'm getting in my car.
All right. Just pray for Jackie, y'all. She's here. As long as we can hear the sound of your voice, we know that you were okay. All right. So she was supposed to meet with Jacoby Flowers. She never, she went missing after that. He was a suspect for a long time, but the authorities never could really pin anything on him. Back in 2016, though, he was indicted for this. And now he's actually going to be sentenced for her murder. They dropped the charges from first-degree murder down to second-degree murder. But here's the thing, and this is what is crazy and just so tragic, is that he says that he killed her because he was afraid that word of their relationship would get out because she was 17 and he was 24. And also, he didn't want his relationship with her to interrupt a relationship that he was having with another woman.
So he killed her so that everybody would know that he was.
So he killed her?
He killed her. But yeah.
He don't need no relationship.
So what he did was he had worked at KFC and apparently she met him there. The next day, after she was supposed to meet him, there was a fire at the there was a fire at the KFC. He visited the restaurant. Let me see what this says. So basically, they were looking for her. They weren't able to find her. But let me see if they did find her or if he just confessed. Yeah, they didn't find her.
So he just confessed.
Yeah, because I guess it was just circumstantial evidence. This article really doesn't give a lot of detail about how she died or how he killed her, but they did amend it to second-degree murder after a very long investigation. So he didn't want to face criminal charges because she was a minor, and he didn't want their relationship to interrupt another relationship that they were having. But basically, it looks like they were able to take a look at his movements by cell phone the night that she went missing. She went missing from outside of her house. So they were able to track his phone from his job to her house and all of his movements and kind of pinpoint.
Like this wasn't planned, or was
that's
it planned?
That's possibly why they dropped it to second-degree murder. Kind of like he meant to kill her, but he didn't
Because if I would
have like
turned my
this.
phone off, definitely would have turned my phone off.
Well, not all criminals are smart.
Yeah.
Not all criminals are smart. Even people who commit murder do stupid things if they're not like a psychopath or something. It could be, this is speculation, but who's just, what was the conversation like outside of her house? Was it like, I'm going to break up with you, or, I don't want to be with you. And as a very young girl, very emotional, she's obviously pregnant by this grown ass man. And it could have been that he lost his cool in like the pile of all the shit that he was involved in at that point just kind of came to him, which is not an excuse for what he did at all, but you're messing with this teenage girl. You're grown. You already have 2 kids by somebody else. All of these things, and you could end up in prison. This is Florida. So you could end up in prison for a very long time. So for 10 years, he was able to circumvent the law or whatever. But my thing is, you didn't have this sort of come to Jesus moment when you were impregnating this teenage girl. You only had it when the proof of what you were doing was going to, everyone was gonna know that you fathered this baby.
Some people, when pregnancy is involved, it's the most unsafe time for the mother, just because of the health situation and because of outside reasons.
Right.
So had she not been pregnant, maybe she would have still been alive. Maybe that's why he did it.
Right. Because, sexual assault is very hard to prove. And sexual assault in minority communities is even harder to prove. So, the likelihood that there would have been an investigation on statutory rape or anything like that are very, very low. Very low. But with a baby, that's different. Definitely. Because now she's going to need support for this child. And I'm quite sure her parents are going to be like, he's going to owe you some money for this child. She's going to push the issue, and then his current relationship or the main relationship that he's having, now he has to face that. What is the other girlfriend going to do? So it's a lot of pressure, and a lot of people, unfortunately, don't know how to deal with life and the things that they create for themselves. And it all came crashing down on. So, apparently he did kill her. That was out of St. Petersburg, Florida. He pled guilty, and he has not yet been sentenced. This was article that came out on April 1st from the Tampa Bay Times. So he's pled guilty, but he hasn't yet.
So after 10 years, he just up and confessed?
They had indicted him back in 2016. So he had always been a person of interest. But they had to just continue to investigate. Like if you see a picture with this article, they have binders and binders and binders and binders of evidence, missing posters, and just there's like about 20 different, over 20, maybe 30 full binders of evidence. But yeah, he'll be sentenced on April 28th. So yeah,
Brandy, is she a light-skinned young lady?
Yes.
Okay, it was all over my TikTok today.
Oh, okay.
I guess because it just came, he got sentenced. I guess maybe that's why everyone's bringing it up, because I saw it today.
And the guy is brown skinned guy who looks like he has dreads with a goatee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so they've been tracking him for quite some time, and apparently after a very, very long investigation, they were finally able to go ahead, and they probably told him they were going to give him life and give him the first degree and take him to trial and all that, and put the pressure on him to make him confess. So, yeah. So it says that he might have, according to this article, he might have killed her. And then it says surveillance footage from the restaurant showed smoke inside the building at 2:33 a.m. The next day, an employee found that someone had set fire in the walk-in cooler and then cleaned the floor. So he might have taken her from her house and then put her in the walk-in cooler, set her on fire, and then cleaned it up.
That's horrible.
Yes.
This reminds me of my favorite and most hated book I've ever read, which is Native Son. I love that book and I hate that book.
Hate it.
And if you've never read it or whatever, but there's a character, Black character, teenager named Bigger Thomas. He's a chauffeur, kind of man Friday for this white family. There's a white girl involved. He's kind of infatuated with her. She's kind of infatuated with him, kind of like a forbidden kind of thing. Things get crazy and he ends up hurting her. She's not dead. He ends up hurting her, but he panics. It's a young Black man and he panics. Completely unnecessary.
It makes it, every move just makes it worse and worse
and worse and worse. Like had he just stopped at the time, everything would have been okay. But he kept going because it's kind of like when you spill something, if you spill wine or ketchup on your shirt, and if you just stop and take the shirt off and go treat the shirt, then everything will be fine. But what you do is you get a napkin and you wipe it off and it smears. And then you get some water and you do it again. And so now it's set in and you're never going to get the shirt right. So then what do? You think you're never going to get the shirt right, but there's a solution to it. But then you know what, forget it, I throw away the shirt. That's exactly what Bigger Thomas does. He gets to a point where he thinks he has no other choice. He puts the girl into a furnace. He folds her up and puts her into the furnace. And it's just like Randy said, it's just one thing that just makes everything exponentially worse when all you had to do was stop. So that's what this reminds me of, is like, and I think this happens quite a lot with second degree murders or I won't even say crimes of passion, but in these kind of sticky situations and circumstances.
Everyday kind of stuff where they get pulled over for a tail light or something stupid, a tent in their car, and the person takes off and it's a high-speed chase and he done ran over 5-6 cars, went backwards on the freeway, and all things like it was just a basic,
right. All you had to do was stop. And everything would have, it wouldn't have been this bad. So I don't know if that was a situation, but it sounds like he went over there to see her, or she called him over there and something happened. And then he just made it even worse instead of maybe, and I'm saying this because I'm not in the situation as a Black man explaining what happened. Like it got out of hand, but then she's 17 and she's pregnant. Why are you with it? So it's just, all of these things would have just added to a horrible situation for the both of them. So I'm quite sure there'll be more information regarding that.
What's the name of that book?
It's called Native Son by Richard Wright. I love that book, but I hate that book.
Me off. Ooh, I was getting pissed off. I like, if this man do one more thing, I'm gonna stop reading this book.
Yeah.
By who? I'm sorry, by who?
Richard Wright.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah. And you know what, the crazy thing about that book is it's classic because the situation that Wright was writing about in the 40s is so relevant at all times. It is relevant at all times. It has never not been something that you can think about or remind you of a situation. I mean, you could apply what happens to Bigger Thomas to 1,000 different true stories. And I'm quite sure he took that from because he was very autobiographical. So I'm quite sure he took that from something that happened in his life or something that he saw. But it is upsetting. It's crazy, well written, but you just really want to go in through the book and choke Bigger Thomas And also hug him.
You almost want to put him in the furnace.
Yes. You want to hug him because he's so tortured and he did it to himself. But you also want to choke him because he's tortured and he did it to himself.
Okay.
So that's this situation here. Yeah, let's talk about another young Black man who found himself in the worst possible situation ever. This one also happened in Florida. Tonight, we're bringing you all Florida.
Happy Florida.
All the time. This is Florida Day on Black Coffee and Crack.
Happy Florida Day.
Man, this one happened over the weekend. And where's the story at? Who sent it? What's the last one you guys sent? What's this dude's name?
I can't say his name.
I'm trying to find which story I sent you guys. Was it over the weekend? Yeah, this guy.
What's the name? Obumseli.
It's all over social media, and I've sent it to you. Oh, here it is. Okay, so his name is Christian Obumseli.
Obumseli.
But I think they call him Jody or something like that. Okay, so basically, he was stabbed to death by his girlfriend. 22 times he was stabbed by his girlfriend. She claims it was self-defense. She was taken from the scene and she was not arrested. She was taken.
Baker Act.
She was Baker Act. She was not arrested. She was taken to a mental facility because she said she might hurt herself. And then over this past weekend, she was actually out having drinks at a hotel with her family after stabbing someone 22 times. Not much information about the motive. She says it was self-defense, but they don't know. Their friends say that she was quite abusive to him a lot and he did nothing. Here are the things that make this story sensational. Christian was Nigerian. His girlfriend was not. What was her name? Caitlin Taylor?
Courtney Clinton?
Courtney
The
Taylor.
girlfriend?
Yes. Courtney Taylor. Yes, is her name. She's out. She's a OnlyFans model. She's made comments about only wanting to date rich Black men. That's not the problem.
Nope.
The problem on social media is this.
Mm-hmm.
His family has a GoFundMe. And they're asking for community support.
Mm.
And as we are wont to do as a Black community, especially as Black women, see a Black man go down, we rally. We're up in arms and we rally because when I heard about this, I was like, what the? And she's not in jail. They didn't arrest her and blah, blah, blah. But boy, if I tell you what other thing that we are wont to do is get receipts. And all the receipts start coming out. Apparently, Mr. Obumseli has some very, 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 very bad things to say about Black women. Mm-hmm. Horrible things to say about. I went to his Twitter page. I don't think it's still up, but I did go to his Twitter page because I wanted to see. And basically he said, there's the Shade Room has the receipts. He said, Black girls are born knowing how to shake their ass. I honestly don't care. They're not my type. the way Black girls disgrace themselves on TV.
His girlfriend's an only. Never mind.
Right. The Martin show is just too funny. Gina be hating too much with her loud Black self. Yeah. I mean, his Twitter was just full of them. And this is the part that this is the causing the social media issue. Well, the issues on social media, on the social media pages, is that no one is saying that he deserved to die. That is horrible. That anyone should have to die like that. And of course, the prayers go out to his family, but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah, the rest of this ain't none of my business.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's none of my business.
So there are
no rally.
Black women on Twitter, TikTok, everything saying this is not our business, because there's also the backlash that Black women are getting everywhere. The language that he uses here is very common on social media against Black women. That we're too loud, we're too aggressive, we cause too many problems, we're not peaceful. A lot of Black men, I'm not saying all Black men, but some Black men are saying that they want a white woman because she's going to bring them. I want a peaceful white woman. I want a submissive woman. Black women aren't submissive. And then the irony of this is this man is saying some of the same things and putting forth the same sentiments, yet he is stabbed 22 times by his peaceful white woman.
He should have just cussed you out and went to bed. That's what we do. Cuss you out, say what we need to say, and go to bed. Tomorrow we're gonna go on about our lives. We didn't got this little disagreement. It's done happened. It's done.
Right. Did you want your grits with salt and pepper? Did you want sugar this morning?
Yeah. What happens this morning? What do you want?
So that is the irony. And, his brother made a plea to the community that says, as a family, this is from his brother saying this, as a family, we strongly disagree with the ignorant and repulsive tweets from my then high school age brother that have recently surfaced. However, the tweets do not diminish our demand for a thorough investigation into Toby's, and his name is Toby.
Oops, I didn't mean to laugh. I swear I did.
Toby was a very strong character.
That's what Brittany
said. I understand. But his name is Toby.
But he said my name ain't Toby.
But Christian's name was Toby. And okay, so let's see here. It's just that he's like, we need the community support. With family, you may not agree with every action or statement made, but it is my duty to zealously fight for my brother. No family should have to go through this. We have a long legal battle ahead of us to ensure justice is served. I need your support. My family needs your support. We cannot do this without community.
So what does he want us to do?
Rally.
Maybe make some signs. Drop $5 in the collection plate. I ain't got it. I got nothing. The only thing I have is just a general sense of sadness for the family. You did lose your son and your brother.
Now, see, what they want us to do is pull an Aunt Karen in the Chelsea situation, and we not for it.
I could try to scrimp together to get some Dr. Thunder.
I can't even do that, Bernie.
I mean, just because it's for his mama.
No, I can't. Because although his brother comes out and says, we don't agree, because this was my then high school age brother's comments. Okay, but he never grew out of it.
No,
I'm just thinking about his mama.
And I think that's where the sentiment goes. The sentiment goes to the family. But the part of it is that as a collective community, Black women are tired of being the warriors, the front line for every time something happens in our communities. And then we have to take the brunt of, y'all are not enough. You're not enough for this, but you're too much for that. You're too independent. You're this, you're that. We need peace. We need submission. Brother, do you even know how to spell submission?
You have to be worthy submission. You have to be worthy enough for me to submit to you. I'm not just going to submit to anybody. You have to be worthy.
If you treat me right, submission is easy. Submission is always easy when it's natural when you have a man that knows how to handle his home. It makes his woman feel secure. Submission is easy at that point. But if you're not doing why do you assume that submission should become without you earning that? Like, why should I just naturally cater to you and you're not doing your part to make me feel like you deserve the cater? So that's my idea on
it. And you're right. And then on top of that, and I'm not saying this is true for every interracial relationship, but from what we're hearing from the podcast and the guys coming out talking or whatever about Black women, the things that Black women ask for of their partners, of their Black male counterparts, that's too much. But you go ahead and you give it to someone else who is not Black.
It seems
and the
like
reason why
we're in this relationship for the wrong reasons, from her side and from his side.
Right. It's a fetish on both sides. It's a fetish on both sides. She wants to date rich Black men.
Girlfriend?
No, I don't believe so.
I thought I read somewhere it was his high school girlfriend, but he could have been in high school last year for all we know.
High school was 10 years ago. So he was 27, a Texas native. So high school was about 10 years ago.
No, maybe it wasn't his high school girlfriend.
I'm like BW. I really do feel sad for his mom. She has no play in this, but at the end of the day, I'm not even bringing no soda pop, nothing. Not a plate. I'm just gonna stay out of it.
And I think it's just because we are quick. Like, if anything happens, is shooting or anything, any sort of injustice, take a look at social media. Black women are the first ones to come out swinging every single time. But at a certain point, we have to kind of sit back and be like, wait a minute.
But truthfully,
we sad for your family, but
do you think folks would feel the same way if it wasn't this situation, he had shot up the park or something? I don't know, shot up something. Would people have more sympathy for his mother and his family in that situation than there's given now?
No. I think as a collective, Black women are tired of just showing up to be the face of the movement, to be the face of the fight, the injustice. We're tired of showing up.
I don't know. I mean, we may be tired, but I still think that if there is a situation where it's needed, we're there, despite being tired. Sometimes you come home, you're tired, but you still got to fix your kids to eat.
Like you said, if it's needed. But I think there are certain things that are slaps in the face, and it makes us look real dumb. It would make us look stupid as hell.
I think if anyone does anything, it's definitely for his family, because they knew him beyond his Twitter words, and they knew him as a person. But maybe at a later time we can look at it differently. But right now.
So let me ask you, you have sons, and hypothetically, one of your sons dates interracially, which again, is not a problem. Obviously, it's not a problem.
So we've had this discussion.
But Your son dates interracially at the expense of Black women. Not just because he likes white women or Latinas, white Latinas, or Asian women, but that he actively talks down and about Black women and then dates interracial.
I don't even know where that would come from.
I'm saying hypothetically.
I know, but
not necessarily from your boys.
Hypothetically, I couldn't even think of where that would come from from my sons. I really don't. But I also know that there's situations that we sometimes put our kids in to make it a better situation for them, like sending them to a school where they are the only, and they have to bear the brunt of everything that ever was. And they start to think how the other students think, because that's what they're around all the time. I definitely know of a situation where there was a boy who was in a public school where there wasn't many of him, and he started thinking the same way that the kids thought about Black people. Well, he should have just relaxed
Complied.
or complied or whatever. And I think being in that type of situation can cause you to have self-hate about yourself, and to survive, you start to assimilate to what other people might say or do. And, that's not the intention of the parent, for them to put them in a kid in a situation where this might happen. But you're thinking, I want better for my child. I want them to go to this school. I want them to, have a better education. But you have to remember, you have to have safe places where your kids can go that is outside of school, where they are around people that look like them and they receive the love and everything from them. And I don't know if this boy situation, but I know it personally, with people that I know. And it, I guess that could make a situation where we have something like this. You start to hate yourself because everyone else is hating you. So you're trying to assimilate with what is, accepted.
I understand.
Well, I grew up. Let me to that statement. I grew up in a sub Garland, and at the time of me and my sister growing up, we were the only two Black people in our schools, multiple times in our grades. It started at home. It started with my mama consistently reminding us of the Black beauty that we were, when she realized that we were walking into an environment full of another race. And so if that happened with my son, then at that point I would feel some type of way as a parent, because that means I didn't remind you of the love that you need to feel for your own culture, for your own women, to where you felt like it's okay to down talk them. It should never be okay. There's no way you can glorify your mother, who is a Black woman, and talk down to the next Black woman. That's not possible. And I couldn't go for that. So just as a person who was one of those kids that was literally the only Black girl, and not only that, I was chubby in my school. It was brutal. And y'all know my melanin is dark.
And so, you probably outside of school was around your people and you church or whatever.
No,
the situation I'm talking about, this person didn't even go to a Black church. So
I didn't
they were all around, to the point where the mom was noticing what happened, and she was like, I gotta send them.
Oh, them. Okay. Yeah.
Let me ask this question. Do you think this is particular to boys more than girls? Because
no,
I have noticed more of
boys
self-hatred from boys more than girls. I know it happens with girls, but especially with dating, with interracial dating. I have known women, Black women, who have dated outside their race. Very rarely do I hear those women come out and say, I'm dating this white guy or this Hispanic guy or this Mexican guy because I hate Black men. It's more of opportunity than
I've
self-hatred.
heard it. So my kid will have good hair. So my kid would be light skinned. So it's
I've
like
heard that. Yeah, I'm not saying I've
self-hate.
never heard it. I'm not saying I've never heard it, but very rarely do I hear it. I hear it more so from men who will say, I'm not going to date anything. The only thing I'm going to have Black are my shoes. I've heard this from someone that is very close to me. While he is sitting at my Black ass table, eating my Black ass food, you're telling me, and they're very shameless with it, you are telling me that you cannot date a Black woman because a Black woman has nothing to offer you. And a Black woman isn't this and isn't this and isn't this and isn't this, yet you are sitting at my table eating the food that came from the money that I work for. And you were telling me this. Needless to say, the dinner didn't go well. He didn't finish eating his food. The food went in the trash. Fork was here, plate was taken. I'll take all of that, thank you. But I've heard that, and not just from him. This is like a childhood friend, not just from him, but Black men who openly say this in front of me, and I'm like, have you lost your mind? I'd rather date this, and it's not so much that I care if you date non-Black women. I don't care who you date, because you're not bringing your bullshit to me. That's all that really matters. The problem is that you have to downplay us in order to date them. When it should just be, if you want to be over there, go over there. This don't have nothing to do with us. So the fact that Christian said, even if it's 10 years old, do you still hold that same sentiment? Like those things are out there. You never bother to go and delete those things. I don't have the same social media accounts, when I was in high school, we didn't have social media, but I don't have the same email account as I did. If there are tweets, if there are things on my Twitter account that I said when I first opened it that are like cringy, I think I've deleted those things because I don't, like, you go back and you look and you're like, what was I thinking? What was I saying? You kept that.
It's a form of self-hate. You can grow up the same house and think two different things with your Black mama, your Black sister, your Black auntie, your Black granny.
Okay, but are we still expected to support and rally for you though?
No, everybody
and
has
that's
a
the thing here.
to rally for whoever they want, but definitely not. You're not getting my I'm not making my poster board my sign.
And that's the thing on the thing about this particular case on social media is that you have someone who apparently has had these thoughts and everything, and there's the lack of support from the Black community, meaning the Black women side of the community, is shocking to people because we're normally the first ones out there. We're the infantry. We're the first ones out there. We're the first ones posting stuff on social media. No, this is this and this and this. And then I think at first when this happened, people were like, like mother tigers. And then all of a sudden it was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Nope, never mind. Sorry, take that back.
I mean, so even though it happened, I want there to be justice in the case.
Absolutely.
I want her to go to jail for what she did and all of that, but
yeah, I absolutely want there to be justice. If it was a case where it wasn't self-defense, and it was, something other than that, then yes, there needs to be.
But
she needs to be brought.
Doing whatever she would do on a random Tuesday.
And her Twitter account has been shut down. The reasons given were that her account went against community guidelines, but well, how did it all of a sudden go against community guidelines and had it before? So people are saying that she's of course being protected, and I don't.
And this is not surprising at all. Even if it was a different situation, this is not surprising.
No, her being Baker active,
these things, it still wouldn't be surprising that she's out eating with her family, breaking bread with her family like normal.
Yeah, that side of the crime. Yeah, that's par for the course. That's par for the course. We already know that, but it's just I think this is one of the first times that it's really been like, ooh, we're not about to support this mess.
We've been very busy for a while now, and we was like, I mean, we've been out there. Our markers don't even got no ink no more. We've been out there. We've been in these streets.
We've been in the trenches, putting the word out, crying, being depressed, getting anxiety. I don't think my heart has been whole since Trayvon. I don't think that I've healed from Trayvon, and then Sandra Bland further ripped me into 78 million pieces. Like, I can't come back from that.
You apart.
And the people,
Sandra Bland tore you apart. I remember you during that time.
Oh my God.
Apart.
And then we wonder why our grandparents, when we ask them about those times, like they don't want to talk about it.
Right.
Because it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Yeah. And they had to live this every day.
Yeah.
They had to be reminded of this every time they walked on a sidewalk or had to get on the bus or.
Right. I mean, these things, these little injustices that we experience now are nothing compared to what they had to go through. And they had a Sandra Bland every other day. They had a Trayvon every day. Every day.
I mean, how many stories do we know of a family member that they had to sneak out in the middle of the night to get him out the South, send him to another state?
Mm-hmm. I had my grandmother's brothers. They had to do it. My great grandfather. The official story is that he was a logger, and the official story was that he drowned coming home from work. And like he got some of the logs or whatever from on the river, kind of rolled over him and he drowned. That's not what happened. He was basically lynched. I mean, that's basically what happened to him. There was this much water. Like the story, remember the story in Louisiana where the little boy went with the white family and he was found like in a couple of inches of water and they say he drowned like 2 years ago? That's the type of situation. But again, I can't get the whole full story because no one ever wanted to talk about it. No one ever wanted to talk about it.
It's exhausting.
And there's only 2 brothers left. So I can't get that. And I don't want to ask the question because they're old. But it is exhausting. It's exhausting to be this involved with everything. There is a police shooting every day. And it's like, some of these we just can't attend. Some of these just can't get of our attention.
Having the King last name, and I remember my grandfather saying, "Oh yeah, I remember. I heard that we were related to Martin Luther King," and I'm like, "You're so closely related to him. What do you mean? You heard that? Like you are so closely related to him that y'all should have been at each other's homes and hanging out." But then when you think about the time, think about having that last name.
Right.
Think about what would happen. You have that last name
in Alabama
and Georgia.
I'm quite sure um it was a heavy burden to bear, in where our grandfathers are from. um there's lots of kings in that area, and I'm quite sure, as country people do, they knew where the connection was. They knew whose father was who, whose cousin was who, how they were related, and all of that. But it would have been kept on the hush because you would have had a target on your back. I mean,
Mhm.
Martin Luther King's mom was assassinated, which is not talked about. Um, all of these little things. So yeah, no one wants to talk about that. No one wants to carry that burden. So
You just
um,
live. You just try to live. And we think, oh, I would be marching and everything, but really, we don't. We have to worry about putting ourselves out there, but they had to really worry about putting us. That was
right,
their livelihood. Their, disappearing in the middle of the night, and you ain't do
was
nothing.
nothing.
I could just say, just
It was
say.
nothing.
I mean, just to think about that, every step you made, even have your family relationship sometimes would get you in a situation that you couldn't get out of. Is just crazy, and everybody's
Yeah,
not built like that.
no. And you think about in any movement, whether it's a civil rights movement, uh, think about in human history, most of the um, revolutions are carried by the women and the children. Women and children are the face of nearly every revolution in human history. And that's that that burden and that trauma like stays with people um for forever. And as Black women in this country, we've been the face of the revolution since the fucking beginning.
They say we carry trauma from the Middle Passage,
I bet. Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
passed down one generation, next generation, next
Yeah.
generation.
And that's why I think that when we have a Trayvon Martin or Sandra Bland or Breonna Taylor, it hurts so much for people that we don't even know. you know and the irony that this young man brutally murdered by his partner, and we can't conjure up any empathy. We have empathy for the family, but we don't have sympathy for him. This is sad.
Not at all.
It's sad for us to be in that position, that we're so, I don't know if it's we're desensitized to it, or we're just tired and apathetic to situations like this. Like, we want to rally for you, but we can't do this time. The
I mean,
circumstances
I'm
behind it,
sorry. I'm
like, we
sorry
can't
he's
do
in
it.
a situation and he lost his life. I'm sorry about that.
But it's kind of like a very ironic situation that the very people that you hated are the ones who are now your community. And the people that you loved and revered, they're not gonna do a damn thing for you. Not a damn thing. So it's crazy, and it's sad all the way around that that this happened. I do pray for his family. I do feel bad because, again, I have brothers, and I wouldn't want to lose them in this manner. And I think I'd be obligated, because they are my brothers, to stand up. But if they had that sort of attitude, I really couldn't expect anybody else to rally for them. I couldn't. I'd understand. It's like, if like you said, if he had gone in and killed some people, could we have sympathy? No, but his family does. Your family's, like you said, your family's always going to know the real you, the inner you, or whatever, and remember the little boy, not the murderer or whatever. So they're always going to remember that, but no one else should be expected to rally for you. So I don't know who's bringing the Hawaiian rolls and the Czech sodas, but contact Jeffrey. I think that's his brother's name. His brother's name is, let me see, Jeffrey Obumseli. So I'm quite sure there's a GoFundMe. So if y'all are so inclined,
Yeah, they did the GoFundMe actually.
Yeah, go over there and donate your money.
And donate your time.
Donate your time if you are so inclined to do so. But I just,
and on that note,
yeah, I just want to talk about it because it's out there in social media and it's something I'm quite sure we'll be hearing a lot about this in the coming weeks, and we'll revisit if we get some new information. And yeah, so yeah, there's that to the family. And you got something else you want to add, Fran?
no, I'm through.
Brady says she threw. You, Jackie? You
no,
through?
I don't. I mean, it's not my business. My mind will pay what I pay, and that's my business.
I'm ready to put my Danny Greens on and exit out the vestibule.
All right, Brandy was gonna put her Danny Greens on and get to shuffling, so that means her feet is her. Speaking of feet, how's your toe?
Girl, we coming along. The prayer, I've been feeling the prayers. I've been feeling the prayers, and the Lord is working.
Did you finally cut the nail off?
Yes, I did. The Lord is working.
Okay.
I forgot to be careful what shoes I put on, but the Lord is
girl, you was dragging that nail around like it was Linus's blanket. Like, just was not gonna let that toenail go.
I had to get it right. You can't be the resurrection weekend with your toe looking funny. I sure, if that nail had fell off, I sure would have painted that skin. Ain't gonna have me out here looking 9 toes down.
Well, since it's resurrection weekend, it might have come back on the 3rd day.
Girl, well, I got a little piece to paint. It don't look too bad. It don't look like no chicken toe.
Well, God is good. God is good all the time. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and end. So y'all enjoy that cup of coffee, and we're gonna say goodnight. So Brandy can go put them Danny Greens on the shuffle out of the vestibule.
Go put your shit on, Brandy.
Bye.
Good night.